Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Corey, you guys got off to a really good start, 35 points first half, and then kind of hit a lull. I mean, was it weather? Was it on you guys? I mean, how do you view that?
We're going to take the blame, but, the weather was bad. A lot of rain. We couldn't really do a lot of stuff that we usually do. So, we had to run the ball a lot, and it was kind of tough catching balls for the receivers and stuff like that because of the rain.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Corey, could you tell maybe even from the start that Seth was struggling today, or did you notice that on the field?
It's kind of hard to play, when the ball's waterlogged and you got to try to throw the ball like a shot put, get it to your receivers, and it's just, it was tough for them. And, it was hard for the receivers to catch the ball. So, it was an ugly win, but we got it.
You probably get tired of hearing these questions, but you broke another record today, Kendall's career record. How do you feel about that? 31 career catches now.
Feel excited. Talked to Kendall like 2 days ago, and we're talking about it. And it's just a blessing to even be in that category with Kendall.
You mentioned that you'll take the win. Obviously, I mean, do you guys kind of look at that as the most important thing? That you still have things to work on, but ultimately you do survive and advance, like Coach Briles said.
Right, like you said, we didn't do everything that that we needed to do, but at the end of the day, we won, and it goes down as a W in the book. So.
Corey, David Smoke, ESPN Central Texas. Was there any part of you as the game was winding down, though, that you said you didn't finish? You won the game. It was easy early, but that you didn't quite finish it and keep the pedal to the metal at all?
Like I said, it was hard. The condition, the weather and stuff is hard. I made some mistakes out there, which, usually I normally catch. I had some drops, and, the ball was on the ground. Some for, the running back, Johnny made a mistake. It's bad weather and just hard to play in that.
Anything else for Corey?
Well, this will be short.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Spencer, just talk about, I guess, particularly the struggles that second half. I know the weather was that, but, y'all seemed to fight through it in the first half.
I think there's a combination of things. We kept shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak, with penalties. Whether it was not getting set or wrong guy in line of scrimmage or something like that. We just little things that we can't have. And I think we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit. But the combination of those two things, we tried to get rolling. We had a fumble, which was, it's wet out there. They fumbled 3 or 4 times, so happens on both sides of the ball, and it's wet. We just have to take better care of it.
Spencer, David Smoke, ESPN Central Texas. Do you feel like that this is a good thing entering a bye week? Even though you won the game, you got something that Coach Briles can bark at you a little bit?
Yes, I'm happy it's a bye week next week. It gives us a little bit of time to recover and get ready for the weird schedule we'll have in the coming weeks with that Thursday game. But, we know as far as, barking at us, I think it does give us motivation, because we can't, as a line and as a team, because, we can make games close. I think it was 18 points or however many it was, but for us, that's kind of a close game. We just got to keep going, fight through it.
Spencer, going into the bye week, are you guys where you want to be as a team?
We're 7-0 right now, so I think so right there. But like I said earlier, there's just those little things we got to clean up. I think this was one of our less clean games, across the board. But I am glad it's going into a bye week.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Spencer, how much credit do you give to the defense today? Obviously, they had some mistakes too, but in a game where y'all did kind of slow down there in the third quarter, got some big stops for you.
I thought they played pretty well up front. There were a lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks I saw. kind of tough to watch them sometimes, but from what I saw, I thought they did pretty well. And especially when the offense was, struggling a little bit in the third quarter, with them being able to give us some stops, give us some, time to kind of figure out everything was really good.
Spencer, they had a lot more batted down passes that I've seen in several games. Was that something where they were just good at getting in lanes? Were they getting penetration? What was that?
I don't know. I mean, I know they were hustling. I think 45 was on the left. He was over me, and he ran all the way across the ball or the line and batted it from the right side. So that's just a good hustle play by him. I maybe attributed to the rain a little bit. I don't know. We weren't getting the quick release that we usually do. I think it was just a lot of good hustle by them.
Last question for Spencer, please.
Spencer, I was just curious out there. You guys have had so much success. Scored 60 points 5 straight games. When things aren't clicking, what's the feeling like on the sidelines for you guys?
A little bit of frustration because we know what we can do, but we just have to be able to clear that and make sure that we don't let frustration kind of bog us down even more. It's tough to do sometimes when you get, you start to get a little drive going and the penalty happens and puts you behind the stick. So it's just something we got to deal with. And as the leadership on the team addressed it, and we'll move on, and we're good with it.
All right, thanks, Spencer.
What time is it anyway? Felt like a long game. Yeah, 2:50. It's not bad. Okay, I said I want to be happy at 3 p.m. So I'm ecstatic. And, it was a great win, tough win. Really I think it's a win we needed. You hate to say that. You'd like for everything to be like it's been, but it's not going to be that way. I mean, it's not reality. And thought our guys did a great job of just kind of, sustaining and maintaining and, not panicking and just taking care of business. I mean, it's hard to stay at a level that we've been at energy-wise, emotionally, and then production-wise. It's just, it's been insane. So, all in all, at the end of the day, it's probably a good thing. Get a good, tough win against a conference opponent.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Art, you mentioned it being a tough win. First half, you guys scored 35 points, and then it kind of hit a lull in that third quarter. Do you attribute that, to Iowa State's defense, weather? I mean, just kind of what do you think happened?
You got to give Iowa State some credit. Give them some credit. And then I think we had a couple of penalties in there. We had one play that, we feel like was just going to be about a 60-yard touchdown, and we got a legal procedure penalty out there by one of our wideouts. But that's part of it. You got to be set. You got to be ready. And, it's kind of a risk you take sometime with tempo. I just don't think we had the energy. I could feel it coming out at halftime that we had starting the game, and that's, it's my fault. And when you look at things from, reality standpoint, I mean, it's just like I said, if you're up 35-7, you're up 28 points, I mean, they can add. And, we felt like we were in pretty good shape, but like I said, in this league, you're really ever not.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Art, Seth had a lot of passes batted. Was that them getting penetration? Was that the offensive line not doing their job?
No, I think they were just staying at the line of scrimmage and, reacting to his reaction. So that's basically just it. I mean, we've had that happen before. And, it's a two-way street. I mean, if they're going to do that, then you should be able to run the ball effectively, for 4 to 6 yards if you want to be that patient. And that's really kind of what that was.
Steve Cook, Sikkim Sports. Coach, we heard a report that Seth strained his neck during the game.
That is true, yes. That's actually why, we opted for the field goal instead of the fourth down there, because really he was, instead of the fourth down make, potentially, but we didn't feel like he was able to go on that fourth down, and I hated to put Stidham out there just cold, first snap being a fourth down with a 15-point game. So Callahan did a good job, made the kick, made it a 3-score game, and potentially or effectively, made it a ball game there. We'll evaluate Seth through the next few days.
Art, I was going to ask, is it anything you're concerned about for the next game, or is having extra time going to be a benefit?
Always concerned, 100%, and first and foremost about his health, and then, than football. But he's a tough guy, and it's hard to see. It's hard to see tough guys hurt, and that's probably the main concern right now is just for him from an emotional standpoint and physical next.
Jordan Mason, Colleen Daily Herald. Coach, does this off week kind of come at a nice time for you with you guys hurting and then a lot to teach?
Yeah, it really does. We've had a pretty good 5-week stretch here. I couldn't even tell you. I guess we've had 3 at home, maybe 1 neutral, 1 on the road. But so it's fallen at a good time. We'll see. We'll kind of regroup and restructure and figure out a plan for Kansas State, and then go from there. That's all we got on our mind now is K-State.
Joaquin Sanchez, Time Warner in Austin. Coach, tough schedule coming up. You guys get the bye right now. How do you feel like this team is heading into the bye and with the tough schedule down the stretch?
It's all about our health. That's it. That's what it's going to come down to. So the next, 6 to 8 days, I think will determine a lot of that. If we can walk into the stadium in Manhattan with, everybody, suited up and ready to go, then, we'll be like we want to be. But if we're not, then we'll have to just figure out a way to be like we want to be. So, I think time will tell.
Art, kind of following up on that question, are you where you want to be going into the bye week before the season? Is this kind of where you wanted to see this team going into the final stretch?
I'd have taken 7-0. If somebody said, "Coach, will you take 7-0 going into the bye week?" I'd have said, "Yeah, put me in on that." So yeah, our guys, they've done what we needed to do. We understand there's other things out there, and that's why people showed up today, because you're never really sure what's going to happen. You'd like to think it's going to happen that way, but you never know. So. We got a big task in front of us at K-State, and then we'll move from there.
Art, you said you hate to see tough guys get hurt with Seth. If the game would have been on the line, would he have continued to be able to play today?
No. And the game's always on the line, but the answer is no.
Art, probably hit or miss on defense, but they came up with a lot of turnovers and some stops in the second half. Just how big were some of their plays?
I thought defensively, particularly in the first half, 3 turnovers. I think we probably got 14 points off those 3. Really made a big push. We had a chance to really get away from them right there in the first half, do a pick on one deal, and then didn't get any points, down there late right at the end of the first half. Probably could have made the field goal. Spencer's got a great leg. He hits 50-yarders, every day in practice. And then defense had a big 4th down stop, there in the 4th quarter, and then, got another turnover, maybe two in the second half. So, yeah, that's the difference in the ball game. We had a turnover, led to 7 points for them, or 6 points. But, that's always going to be the determining factor. You can be the smartest guy in the room, but if you're fumbling, throwing interceptions, you're going to lose. So that's where it all starts: turnovers, field position, then momentum.
Art, you're focused right now on just being 7-0 and taking care of business, but this is the last game before the first college football playoff rankings come out on November 3rd. You curious at all as to where you're going to be, or is that something you're just going to kind of set aside?
Yeah, I'm curious. I think I wouldn't be completely honest if I said I wasn't. I'm not sure how much my curiosity is going to change anything, but I think it's been proven that it's got zero effect. But yeah, I'm curious, and I think it's just an added incentive, either positive or negatively. Wherever you're viewed by other people.
Art, do you have any immediate indication of how serious this injury is with Seth? Could he miss the game at Kansas State, or?
I really don't. If I did, I'd tell you. But right now it's it's something that we're just kind of unsure about. And Mike came up to me on the sideline and says, "Hey, we're going to take him, get him checked this evening, and then we'll go from there." Fortunately, we do not have a game. I guess for 12 days. I'm not even sure how many days, but we'll see. I know if he can go, if he's cleared, he'll play, because he's a tough hombre now.
Coach Shungigi, News 10 Sports, you said you're curious about the college football playoff rankings. Do you think you guys deserve to be number one?
He was asked if I would be curious, and I answered yes, so I honestly did not say I'm curious about it. But, I mean, that's why they got those people, to rank people, to rank teams where they feel like they need to be ranked. So I'm always going to think we're number one. You ask me in July, I'll say we're one. You ask me in February, I'll say we're one. Why would I think anybody else is better than us?
Anything else for Coach Briles?
Thank y'all.